To kick us off, we have Mandy Gardner talking about a process that she has helped create at JB Media Group over the last 2 years, and that is the JB Media Content Branding Guide process. And Mandy Gardner is our senior content writer and brand journalist at JB Media Group. She's been with the company for over 4 years. And thank you for joining us today, Mandy, for presenting this presentation.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk about the Content Branding Guide. It's become sort of my favorite thing to do with new clients, and I think it's really helpful for all different organizations. So just really briefly, I've been with JB Media, like Justin said, for a long time now. I'm really passionate about helping organizations tell their stories, and I'm a storyteller myself here in Asheville. And I sort of view this process through the lens of storytelling. In order to tell a wonderful story, you have to have a point of view, you have to have a perspective, and you have to have an audience that you understand enough to know that the story that you're going to tell is going to make sense to them, and also you have to have a significant point to share with them. And so this branding guide really helps you get clear on all of those different things. So really briefly, content can take a lot of different forms. Anything that you see here can be included in this process. The guide can help you develop all of this content and more. We at the agency started to see the need for the content branding guide when we were onboarding our own new clients. So that's why we started to develop this internal process. You can do this content branding guide process on your own by answering the questions. I'm going to later on in later slides, I'm going to have specific questions that you need to sort of examine and answer on your own about your digital marketing goals, target audiences, brand voice, and your unique value proposition, so that basically this process will help you establish and hone your own distinctive brand that will set you apart from your competitors online. And as you complete the process, you will create your own customized content branding guide. My suggestion is to just create a Google Doc or a shared resource that you can collect answers from any necessary stakeholders. So visionaries and strategists should definitely be included in this process, but really most importantly, anybody that directly is working with your target audiences in your organization should be involved in the process. What is quality content? I believe that quality content can only be produced when you are thinking about how to serve your specific target audiences best. Basically, anything that your organization will create, publish, and share through any digital channels, social media, email, PR outreach, your own website, needs to be of high quality. That will also have bearing on your search engine optimization, your ability to rank for keywords that you want to appear in the top 10 results for these days. Quality matters. Google actually does share, they don't reveal everything about their algorithm, certainly, but they are very transparent about the fact that one of the most important ranking factors for today is quality content. That phrase gets thrown around a lot. What does it mean? The simplest definition that I can give you is EAT: expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. If you look up if you Google the Google Search Quality Evaluator Guidelines, you can see exactly how they define quality content for their search quality raters. There are over 10,000 people that examine search results and tell Google what they think about that site and how it's serving the actual query that's been asked in the search. So this slide I put here because it is just a reminder that in order to create quality content that will help you achieve your goals for growth, you must work to uncover opportunities that are specific to your niche audiences, and then create content that serves those needs in a way that is better and more useful and more in-depth than any other site out there. This is kind of the underpinning for the need for this content branding guide. I've found that there are 3 basics that a brand or organization has to have in place before you are able to deliver quality content. You must be clear on your goals. You must be clear on your brand, and you must be clear on your audiences. And we're going to go in depth and into how you can think about those things and sort of codify them in this content branding guide. One thing, this is the world's ugliest Venn diagram. I have the dishonor of having designed it myself. But the point of it is really just to show you that the best content opportunities are right there in the overlap between these 3 spheres. You need for every landing page you develop, every blog you write, every piece of content you develop, you should basically know who you're speaking to, what value they're going to get out of that piece of content, and how it is going to serve your business goals or your goals for growth. So let's see. These are some ways that the content branding guide can be used. We're going to go into those a little bit more later on. So here are some of the questions that you really need to in that Google Doc or Word doc that I suggested that you create. Put down all of these questions that I suggest in bullet points and others that come up for your specific organization. Really, why do you want to produce content? If you have a sales or traffic goal, get specific. What are the numbers? Your goals should be tailored to your specific sales funnel, whatever it is. Your calls to action are going to be determined by your goals. Secondly, target audiences. So we talk about something, writers talk about having an ideal reader. Understanding your target audiences or the people that you most want to attract will help you produce content that is much more relevant and interesting and is much more likely to inspire engagement and ultimately conversion. So my suggestion for when you're filling these out is to think of real people. Don't think in abstract terms of who you think you will attract or who you suspect you will, but think about your actual top customers, the kind of person that you're like, if I had 1,000 more of this type of person, I would be completely happy. What attributes does that person have? You can divide these up into buckets of, identify certain patterns of the types of audiences that are most attracted to your business. Listen to the stories that people tell you as to why they chose your business over others. If they tell a story about how your business has transformed their life in some way. I've heard stories from our clients about just things that their clients and their customers and their fans have shared with them about the ways that their business has transformed their lives. Even in the simplest ways, mark those down, because that means that there are probably people out there like them that can be helped in the same ways. So brand identity, this is the most important one. Really what these questions are getting at is, what topics or subjects do you really want to be a known and trusted authority on? Remember the importance of expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. It is not easy to build that. It takes a tremendous amount of time, resources, and just investment of everyone on your team in helping to create that content. So really, what's going to be worth it for you to put that investment in? How do you want for your brand to be perceived in the marketplace? What makes your site an authority? What makes you an expert on matters that are related to what you do? Why should they trust you? Beyond that, the most important one under brand identity, really for digital marketing purposes, arguably, is what do you offer that no one else does? Because that's going to help you really hone in on what your niche is. And really, you need to, in order to succeed on your digital marketing strategies today, you need to develop content that is comprehensive and relevant to your specific niche audiences. It is much better to go deep on a few topics that are important to your niche than shallow on many topics that are only tangentially related to what you do. So it is in general terms, the more niche you go, the better your content will perform, if it is truly useful and of high quality. So find your tribe and speak to them through your content. How can you use your content branding guide? Once you have actually done all of these things, you've answered all of these questions, you've gotten super clear on your goals and your target audiences and your unique value and all of the things that are really core to what you do and unique and special about you. Once you've figured that out, or you at least have a living document that can be added to as the brand evolves over time, you can use that document to guide you in your research. Keyword research should be done from the perspective of your target audiences. There are so many opportunities, there's so many keywords and ways that you could go about trying to achieve your goals for growth online. The smartest way to do that is to really identify what your target audiences are looking for and what opportunities are out there that mesh your unique expertise with what they are looking for. And specifically, you want to look for opportunities that no one else is really filling at this point. Market research guided by your content branding guide can help you discover influencers that your target audiences are paying attention to. That can help you build partnerships. I know Justin talks a lot about the importance of building partnerships. to share your content online and to encounter new audiences. So if you understand your audiences in a really deep way and what they're looking for, you can discover influencers that you can build partnerships with, perhaps share content with. You also want to do market research to find the questions that your competitors are answering and the online tools that they are providing that you're not yet, or that no one is. Look for gaps that you are uniquely suited to fill. These are just a few simple tools that you can use as starting off places for research. The first one is Google. There's so many times that I will use Google to just look for top keywords for one of my clients that I'm writing for and see what comes up. What information is coming up again and again? Where are those places where there's a topic that's maybe not being covered? Also, Keyword Planner, obviously for keyword research, your content brand guide can help you uncover those niche keywords that you could potentially rank for. Answer the Public is a really great tool that helps you uncover questions that your target audiences are answering, relevant again to those topics that you want to become a known authority on. And BuzzSumo is a social listening tool. It finds out what's being shared online. So these are just a few of the different places tools that exist online today that you can use the content branding guide to do really in-depth research on. And that's all I've got for my presentation today. I really appreciate everybody listening, and if you have any questions, please ask. I'm happy to help.
Yeah, thank you, Mandy. I'm here as well to help facilitate the Q&A. I'm checking out the chat right now and see if anyone has any questions for you as a follow-up. I'll start with one just to get this kicked off. We have about 5 minutes for questions before we want to bring Jenna in. But first question, Mandy, is can you talk a little bit about kind of your process when you're working on this with a client? Like, what are the steps? How long does it take? What do you do in that process with the clients?
I have developed a series of questions. So I shared a lot of these questions in the presentation today, and variations of that. Essentially, I want to uncover really what the hopes of the target audiences are, and what they're looking for when they are doing research online for this brand, and what their fears are, if their problems are not solved, and all of these things. So I list out all of these points that I can explore, the goals and the audiences, and also the unique value. And then I sit down with any stakeholders that are identified from the organization. Like I mentioned, strategists and leaders in the company are very important, but also whenever possible, I try to encourage our clients to allow me to talk to their frontline customer service people. If the organization is large enough for that to for them, sometimes I've done this with just an owner-operator. It's just a one-man band or a one-woman band, and that works too. But if it's a large team, it's better if I can talk to multiple people, because there are things that strategists may not be aware of. There are stories that are going to come up again and again from people that are important to capture. So so I have the questions set. I actually record conversations. I have a little audio recorder, and I have a conversation, and I record it, and then I go back through and I listen to it later, and I capture everything that is really important that comes out of that, and I divide it up. I look for patterns, places where things come up again and again and again. And then I have the answers there, and then I just sort of brainstorm, have some suggestions of things that come out of that I think will be really helpful for the client.
Awesome. Thank you, Mandy. That's really helpful. Let's see if any questions have come in. It doesn't look like we have any questions yet on the chat line. Can you talk a little bit about, how long are the finished documents are you typically creating, and about how long it takes you to put one together?
The time that it will take you to do something like this really depends on the number of people you need to involve in the process. Usually with, if I'm interviewing one or two people, I'll probably have at least an hour long, if not 2 hour long conversation with that person. And then in the research phase, cleaning everything up and transcribing those conversations, that can take me between 3 hours and 10 hours, depending on how in depth it is. And I'll also a lot of times when things come up in the conversation, I might double check those. I might do Google searches or look for ideas will come up, and I'll Google them, and other related ideas will come up. And I might call the client back and ask for another follow-up to go a little bit in depth into something about a topic. So really, it should take the amount of time that that you feel is necessary in order to get the job done. When you finally have a document that you feel comfortable sharing with any freelancers or anybody on your team that's going to be creating content or doing research or strategizing a digital marketing plan for you, you want to make sure that it's in that form that you feel comfortable sharing it and saying, yes, this is us, this is who we are, this is what we want to be an expert on, this is a good summation of everybody that we want to reach. And so it really should take no more or no less than the amount of time it takes to create that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mandy. I really appreciate it.
Welcome. And I know that this has been like a fire hose of information, so if you have any questions that come up for you later on in this process, feel free to email me, Mandy@jbmediagroupllc.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for putting this together, Mandy. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for the opportunity. All right. Thanks, everybody.